Hey, Ojasvi, welcome to Content Kettle.
Hey, it's an honor to be invited here. Thank you. I am quite excited.
For those who haven't had the chance to meet Ojasvi before, he's the lead data scientist at Dukan, which is a fast-growing solution that enables businesses to go online and reach a wider audience. But I'm going to let Ojasvi tell us a little about what he does at Dukan and what Dukan is all about.
Thank you, Vanshika. So Dukan is an e-commerce enablement platform. We mainly help people. We were actually born during the first wave of COVID when local businesses in India were struggling a lot to get sales because of very strict lockdown protocols. Our CEO, Sumit Shah, actually saw through this growing need of a way to come up with online stores, and he promptly, in just a matter of 2 days, he got a product up and running. As for me, I'm currently managing and leading the data science team here at Dukan. We work on a big wide array of projects related to images, text, and we also done a lot of work in RTO prediction. That's RTO stands for return to origin. Most people don't know how big of a problem this is in India. And we actually have access to millions of orders and data points. So we can predict with 85% accuracy about if your order could get RTO'd or not. And the sellers who are actually using this face 60% lesser RTOs on their usual orders. So it's going quite well. And we also have, talking about creating value, we also have recommendation systems on our platform. We help sellers in picking products in a very smart way according to their customers in order to increase their order values. We work in fraud detection, and we also try to prevent sale of illegal items through AI, so no humans required. And we also work on actively creating AI tools for the public. So our tools page on Dukan actually has a ton of traffic, about 50,000 a month. So yes, that is a lot, but that's the name of the game.
So as everybody knows, in season 2, we are bringing in partners and experts who can talk about technology in the e-commerce sector. Now, as Ojasvi just explained, Dukaan is clearly doing a lot with a lot of technologies. And so we have him here to explain how AI is changing the e-commerce industry. So to start with and get things rolling, Ojasvi, could you explain what artificial intelligence in e-commerce would mean in a layman's language?
In a layman's language, okay, so boiling it down to the simplest principles, I would say it is just data and the application of knowledge inside that data to create wealth or to save time for sellers. You may go into nuance and small details. It is actually quite tempting for me, but everything just comes back to saving time and making money. And just that in this case, the weapon of choice for me is AI and data science. And I think that pretty much sums it up.
Got it. So we have been hearing all about AI across various industries, and e-commerce is the one that's picking up right now very rapidly. While some solutions are actually AI-based, some are using the terminology because it's trending as of now, right? So what do you think are some of the benefits of using artificial intelligence? Because the term itself is so heavy, the technology also seems extremely overwhelming.
You're absolutely correct. In e-commerce today, as of right now, AI is not a necessity. You can still start selling online without ever having to know about what is an artificial intelligence and who is an artificial intelligence or where is an artificial intelligence. Most sellers don't know how AI can help them. It's not their fault. It's just the way the world is right now. In fact, the feature requests that we get from sellers don't really involve AI-related requests. Sellers are generally not aware of how we can help them, for example, in reducing RTOs, because how we have access to millions of other RTO order details. Sellers don't know that we know which of their products get more views and how we can actually help them in correctly placing their products on their store to get more orders and more sales. They don't necessarily know how to analyze their customer base and segment their customers in order to target the right people for campaigns or for launching new products. It's slowly going to take time. Sellers, we also know what the general trend of a proven strategy for an e-commerce brand is. And we use that data to help our sellers get more orders and more sales. But that also creates a huge opportunity for people like me to innovate ways and make sellers actually dependent on AI. I am personally seeing tangible benefits to those online sellers who are opening themselves to more data-driven practices versus those who don't. I think in about 3 years, 3 to 4 years, the difference between a seller that uses AI versus a seller that does not use AI will be as visible as sunlight. And that is when the golden age of AI in e-commerce will actually begin. But until then, I feel like it is an education process where you have to actually educate sellers about the possibilities, which is actually quite hard because AI is still growing at a rapid pace. Even I am not even I am not fully aware of all the new things that are happening. But we can just slowly work towards it.
So like you said, a lot of feature requests coming from e-commerce businesses are usually not even AI related. What are some of the most common use cases that are AI related that you're seeing businesses adopt rapidly right now?
I think recommendations have been the most effective bang for the buck use case. And going back to my previous answer, I think you don't really need a lot of education on what it does and how it works. Everyone understands recommendations, and that is for a very good reason. In a sea of millions of products, how do you actually pick products for your customers and pick products that they may want to buy? It's a very interesting problem, and I think the initial way to solve this was just recommend the most popular products, so whatever is selling the most, just suggest that to your new customers. But that quickly becomes ineffective because popular products will be the same for everyone. Maybe Vanshika likes to buy gadgets and maybe Ojasvi likes to buy fashion. That problem was not solved until personalization was created, the concept of figuring out that who's interested in what and using that information to smartly recommend products. And this is such a big market. Amazon's I think 35% of products that are ordered on Amazon are actually picked from the recommendations that they make. So I think everyone would agree that recommendations are quite vital right now.
And what's your take on chatbots? So there's a lot of word around using AI chatbots as well to tailor buyer journeys. But at the same time, chatbots are actually being confused with live chat automation. So well, I'd love your take on it.
I think we're not there yet with chatbots. Even me, as someone who's been in this field for so many years, I would still prefer to talk to a human, or at least feel that I'm talking to a human. And it's probably much cheaper than hiring a sales executive or a customer support executive versus spending your time on chatbots. So I don't believe we're there yet, but it's on the way. The differences in the quality of chatbots that we are seeing every year is improving. So there will come a point of inflection after which the majority of the people will actually prefer using chatbots than having to talk to a customer sales executive.
Yeah, I am seeing a rapid increase in at least the turnaround times that a chatbot has to offer in comparison to human live agents. But at the same time, it's still very impersonalized. It's not exactly something that you would want to interact with very actively. So my next question is, we do see people like implementing product recommendations on their website, but it's a very generic widget that they implement. Sometimes it's actually manually picking products. It's not even leveraging technology. So why do you think there is this hesitance in people to adopt AI in e-commerce?
I think it's a lot to do with the barrier to entry in AI. I am undoubtedly sure that AI is the most technical part of e-commerce. So for example, it takes a lot of time to become a productive practitioner of AI. You can design a good e-commerce store in just a few weeks of learning Figma and design principles. You can develop the front end and back end of stores after a few months of hard work. But with AI, I feel like you have to spend years and years of learning maths, statistics, algebra. That's all your college education, and also coding on top of that to actually become productive. And that's not it. You also have latest developments like stable diffusion, people creating images from text, videos from text. That's all happened in the last 2-3 months. That did not exist in April. And right now, as of this recording, we're in October. So yeah, I feel like it's a significantly harder field to get into, and to actually not just get into, but create things of value. And I feel like that is the biggest barrier to entry. However, I don't want to paint a very grim, dark, or bleak picture. I think 50 years ago, for example, learning how to drive took a lot more time than it takes today. Over the last 50 years, driving instructors have actually mastered what to teach and what not to teach, and what are the most effective ways to teach. And I feel like most of the people can learn how to reasonably drive well in a week or two. And I think in AI too, we will see a gradual adoption of better teaching methods, and we will make it more accessible to more people.
Fun fact, I actually never really learned how to drive. I think the instructor gave up on me after a while, but I'm hoping, yeah, I will improve at it. Okay, so getting back to our questions, since we spoke about the challenges, I also wanted to know that if AI is a big investment in terms of time, technology, and of course, onboarding your entire team onto how it really works, where it can be used, what are the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
How does a business ensure that they are able to reap a good ROI from this investment? As in, what is the strategy that they should be following to implement AI?
Okay, I think they need to, another challenge that people face in implementing AI is availability of high quality data. Just going back to recommendations, because that's what most of your listeners would understand. You can't really make good suggestions if you don't have the browsing data of your customers. Even platforms like Amazon or YouTube even suggest you popular products or popular videos when you first log in, or when you first go to their websites. That's because they don't have your browsing history. They need to know what your interests are and what kind of things are you into, so that they can offer you more personalized, more interesting products or videos. So I feel like good data and good data collection practices are also vital to enable your data scientists or AI practitioners to actually do the job properly.
So when they are looking for implementing AI, now there's always this build versus buy kind of a conversation, right? And the bigger brands obviously build. What is your take on it? Should they be building the solution out? Should they actually buy the solution out? Because there are a lot of SaaS businesses that are solving the problem for them.
I would say buy it out, just because I am biased here. But if you can build it out, well and good. And I think as a part of the community, there is nothing better than seeing someone actually implementing AI principles to solve problems. So anything that helps you survive, or anything that can help you get the job done. However, if it was me, if it was my business, I would actually go with someone who's experienced, who's been in the field. I would actually hire them and get them to work, because you have a lot of problem with the explainability in AI. So AI, just to very briefly tell your listeners about it, explainability is a big issue in AI. We don't know why an AI makes a decision. It's very hard. Sometimes we do, but it's generally very hard. And in cases like self-driving cars or cancer screening or suggesting medicines, that's a very critical decision. And you need to be able to have experienced AI engineers working with you so that they are able to explain the decisions that are made by AI. So for me, as a business, I would go with someone who's very experienced.
Got it. To just put things into perspective for the listeners, what are some of the departments in an e-commerce business that can actually leverage the opportunities that AI creates?
Yeah, I think anything that a human has to do on scale can be benefited with AI. So things like figuring out which products are selling more than others, figuring out when to actually launch your campaign. Instead of having someone sit through your past data, your time, your weekly data, your monthly data, those are the places where people can actually have someone create an AI model that works on this stuff and gives you insights so that you can focus more on selling and less on the technical details.
Got it. Now, since we are all see and do kind of learners, right? So what are some of the brands that are on your radar who are using AI very actively?
In e-commerce or in general?
I would say e-commerce to keep things extremely relevant, but general answers also work well.
I think Nykaa has been doing great with makeup and fashion accessories. I also like what Myntra is doing. Myntra has excellent recommendations and great way to actually show you pictures. And just to go into a little bit more detail, Myntra actually has an AI model so for your international listeners, Myntra is a fashion store, online store in India, and I'm pretty sure it's the biggest one right now. They actually have an AI model that only needs your fashion pictures, your t-shirt pictures or your shirt pictures, and that model is able to tell you, okay, this is the color, this is the gender that it's generally purchased by, this is its size, this is its age group that you're targeting. And then your sellers can actually use that data to smartly target the right people instead of reaching out to everyone. You know exactly, okay, this is my customer segment and this is who I have to target in order to sell this particular kind of product. I think those are some big players in this domain right now.
And I think with Myntra, the interface does not even feel like, there's a bigger technology behind it. It's pretty intuitive when you're using the app. I also see Amazon implementing it, testing it very on and off on their product pages. I'm not sure if you've experienced the same. They have it below the descriptions usually, but on very specific categories. I've seen it on the furniture items. I've seen it, I think, a couple of fashion products, which are higher ticket in general. I've seen it there, very similar to what Myntra has implemented, but a lot more interactive. So I think they're also combining other technologies with the same, but pretty interesting ways in which they're coming out.
Amazon has actually come up with this new AI tech that looks at your picture. So if you like, if you follow an influencer or if you like an actor and the way they dress, their fashion sense, you can actually take one of their pictures and give it to Amazon, and Amazon will actually tell you, okay, these are the products on Amazon that will help you in mimicking that look. I think that's a great application of AI. We've done something similar in Dukan as well, although it's not open to the public. We're still in testing phase, but we've also implemented something similar where users give us a picture and we are able to tell you, okay, these Dukan products are the most similar to that. And going back to a previous question that you asked, this is another big application of AI. Instead of having to have a person actually look at the picture and find out, okay, this could be the matching picture in our catalog, which might have millions of products, you actually automate this entire process, because a picture is not just a piece of information. It is a huge collection of numbers which can go from 1 to 255 over 4,000 by 4,000 resolution. So that's a lot of data. And how do you actually find similarities? And those kinds of problems are being solved right now.
Yep, pretty interesting. E-commerce is rapidly evolving, and I think that's one of the most interesting things out here. Now at Dukan, I'm sure you've worked with and you've seen a lot of case studies, success stories as well, right? So I just wanted to know, just to bring the episode to a close, what is the one tip you would share with a DTC brand to grow sustainably in this very crowded, noisy space?
I would say just develop your niche. I know it's very cliche, but nobody in history has outperformed an established player in their field by doing the same thing as the established player. You have to innovate new ways to solve problems and fulfill needs so that you can stand out. The world is ever changing. Opportunities to innovate are always ever present. Whoever can see that opportunity and whoever acts on it will eventually win out. So just to personalize this, just to give you an example from one of our stores, we have a very successful merch store on our platform called Emo Boys of India, that they sell hundreds of meme t-shirts on their platform every week. That obviously has a lot to do with the recent surge in meme culture and sharing memes on social media. These sellers were just ahead of the curve, and they saw this opportunity and they acted on it. So try to develop a big sense of big picture and small picture, and try to act in a way that you can monetize that opportunity.
That's a very good tip. So that's actually all I had to ask of you today, Ojasvi. It was lovely speaking to you today.
Likewise, and this was great. I had a ton of fun talking to you. And I just want to give you a compliment. I feel like this is a gem of a podcast, and I'm quite confident this will be a great place for people to learn more about e-commerce. As like I told you at the beginning of this call, I've been spending the last few days listening to your podcast, and each and every one of them has something that everyone can learn from. My personal favorite one was Kilobytes, I think. That was,
yes.
was the one with the kilo beaters, actually. I'm sorry.
Healthy
with
snacks.
Yeah, correct. So I am very particular about my diet, and if I see something that is high protein and low calories, I'm definitely going to buy it. So it was quite interesting to hear from their founders and listen about their story. So thank you for bringing people like those on your podcast.
This is big. Thank you so much. Made our day.